6 months had passed since the Council's failed attack on Earth. The galaxy was a very different place now. Fear had a new name, and that name was human. Captain Minsu stood on the bridge of his destroyer, looking down at the burning ruins of the Corvin Naval Academy. This was the third military school his task force had destroyed this month. The message was clear. The Council's future officers would never graduate. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we are receiving surrender signals from the remaining ships in orbit." Minsu nodded. "Accept their surrender. Process the prisoners according to human military law." It was important to follow the rules, even in war. Humans were not like the Council. They did not torture prisoners or execute civilians, but they were absolutely ruthless in destroying military targets. The Academy burned behind them as Min's fleet moved on to the next target. There were still many Council installations to destroy. Far away, on the captured capital world of Nexus Prime, President Dayun prepared for the most important speech in galactic history. The Great Council Chamber had been converted into a meeting place for representatives from hundreds of species. Subin and Taemin stood beside her. They had survived the Council's betrayal and helped organize the rebellion that brought down the old government. Now they would help build something new. "People of the galaxy," Dayun began, her voice carrying to every world through the communication networks. "The age of the Council is over. The age of freedom has begun." The chamber was filled with aliens who had lived under Council rule for generations. Some looked hopeful, others looked afraid. All of them were listening carefully. "We did not seek this war," Dayun continued. "We came to the Council in peace, offering friendship and cooperation. They chose to respond with threats and murder. They forced us to show them what humans can do when we choose war instead of peace." She gestured to the empty Council chairs behind her. These seats once held the rulers of the galaxy. They claimed the right to decide which species lived and which died. They believed might made right. "They were wrong," Dayun said. "We have proven that humans are mightier than any Council species, but we will not use that might to become new tyrants. We will use it to guarantee that no species ever again rules over another." Dr. Borum stepped forward with a document in her hands. "This is the Charter of the Free Species Alliance," she announced. "Any civilization that renounces conquest and oppression can join as equals. Any species that chooses cooperation over domination will be protected." The alien delegates whispered among themselves. This was not what they had expected. They thought humans would simply replace the Council as the new rulers. "But what about species that refuse to join?" asked a delegate who looked like a giant bird. "What about those who still believe in the old ways?" Admiral Jiho answered that question. He wore the uniform of the former Council fleet, but now it bore human insignia. "Those who choose to remain enemies of freedom will face the consequences. We have demonstrated what happens to those who threaten peaceful species." His words were calm, but everyone in the chamber understood the threat. The human military had grown stronger every day since the war began. They now had the largest fleet in the galaxy, equipped with weapons that could destroy entire worlds. "However," Jiho continued, "we offer redemption to those who truly change their ways. Former Council species who help us build a better galaxy will be forgiven for their past crimes." Commander Soyoung was patrolling the outer rim when her senses detected something interesting. A small fleet of ships was approaching from unexplored space. They were not using any known technology. "Unknown vessels," she broadcasts. "This is the human patrol ship Vigilant. Please identify yourselves." The response came in a language her computers had never heard before, but the translation software that Dr. Biorum had developed could handle almost any communication. "We are the Canary," the alien captain said. "We are explorers from the far galaxy. We heard about the Great War and came to investigate." Soyoung was careful. First contact with new species was always dangerous. "State your intentions," she ordered. "We wish to learn about the humans who defeated the Council," the Canary replied. "Our own galaxy has similar rulers who oppress the weak. We hope to learn from your victory." This was exactly what the new alliance needed. Proof that the human victory was inspiring oppressed species everywhere. "Welcome to our galaxy," Soyoung said. "I will escort you to our diplomatic station." Back on Earth, General Woojin was reviewing the final reports from the war. The numbers were staggering. Human forces had destroyed over 1,000 Council ships. They had captured hundreds of worlds. The Council's military power was completely broken, but the most important victory was not military, it was psychological. "Fear is a powerful weapon," Woojin explained to his staff. "The Council ruled through fear for thousands of years. Now, that fear serves us. Every species in the galaxy knows what happens to those who threaten human allies." Admiral Degin nodded. "The difference is that we only use fear against those who choose to be our enemies. The Council used it against everyone. That is what makes us different," Woojin agreed. "We are not conquerors. We are protectors." On Nexus Prime, the trials of Council war criminals were beginning. Admiral Jiho oversaw the proceedings, making sure everything was fair and legal. The galaxy was watching, and it was important to show that humans believed in justice, not revenge. Vorthok sat in the defendant's chair, his forearms bound with restraints. He looked older and smaller than he had during his days of power. "You are charged with genocide," the human judge announced. "You ordered the destruction of 17 different species. You killed billions of innocent beings." Warthog's defense lawyer, a human, stood up. "My client claims he was only following council law. He says the council had the right to destroy threats to galactic stability. The council's laws are not recognized by this court." The judge replied, "Mass murder is a crime under any civilized legal system." The trial lasted for weeks. Evidence was presented showing the full extent of council atrocities. Species that had been disappeared by the council were revealed to have been completely exterminated. The galaxy watched every moment of the trial. It was the first time in history that the powerful had been held accountable for their crimes against the weak. Warthog was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment. He would spend the rest of his days in a human prison, thinking about the billions of lives he had destroyed. Other council leaders received similar sentences. Some were executed for the worst crimes. Others were imprisoned. A few who had opposed the worst atrocities were allowed to live in exile. The message was clear. The age of accountability had begun. Captain Haiyan-Wu received a new mission. His stealth ship would explore the regions of space where council loyalists that had fled. These remnants of the old regime might try to rebuild their power someday. "Find them," Admiral the Jin ordered, "but do not attack unless they threaten innocent species. Let them live in exile if they choose peace." Haiyan-Wu's ship moved through the dark spaces between galaxies. His sensors detected scattered groups of council ships hiding in nebulae and asteroid fields. "They are broken," Yonji reported. "Most of them are just trying to survive." "Good," Haiyan-Wu said. "Let them remember what happens to those who choose tyranny over freedom." But not all the council remnants had given up. Deep in unexplored space, some were building new fleets and planning revenge. They would never accept the new order that was fine with humanity. Humans had proven they could win any war. If the council loyalists wanted to try again, they would face the same fate as their leaders. The galaxy was at peace, but it was a peace enforced by human strength. Every species knew that Earth's children stood ready to defend freedom against any threat. President Dayun's final words to the galaxy became the motto of the new age. "We offered you peace, and you taught us war. Now we offer you freedom, protected by our strength. Choose wisely." The Free Species Alliance grew stronger every day. New civilizations joined regularly, seeking protection from bullies and tyrants. The galaxy's trade networks reopened. Science and culture flourished. But on the edge of space, human patrol ships kept watch. They carried weapons that could destroy planets and crews trained to use them. The message was simple. Freedom was not free, and humanity would pay any price to defend it. The galaxy's rulers were. The big council room was very quiet. Too quiet. Captain Lee Daeho could feel something bad was coming. He sat at the human table with his team. Dr. Park So-min was next to him, writing notes on her tablet. Commander Kim Woo-jin stood behind them, watching everything. The Galactic Council had called this meeting 3 days ago. No one told the humans why. That was never a good sign. "Humans," a deep voice said from across the room. Everyone looked up. Councillor Veltar was standing. He was from the Catherian Empire. His people looked like big lizards that walked on 2 legs. Veltar was 8 feet tall. His green scales were shining under the bright lights. His yellow eyes looked angry. "Councillor Veltar," Captain Lee said. He kept his voice calm. "What can we do for the Catherian Empire today?" Veltar walked to the center of the room. His heavy footsteps made loud sounds on the metal floor. The other aliens in the room watched him. Some looked worried. Others looked away. "You can stop," Veltar said. His voice was loud and angry. "Stop taking our space. Stop building your colonies where they do not belong." Dr. Park looked up from her tablet. She had studied many alien races. The Catherians were proud warriors. They did not like to share anything. But they had never been this angry before. "Our colonies are an empty space," Captain Lee said. "We checked with the council. We have papers that say we can build there." "Your papers mean nothing," Veltar shouted. His tail hit the floor hard. "That space belongs to Kitha. It has always belonged to Kitha." Commander Kim moved a little closer to Captain Lee. His hand was near his weapon, but he did not touch it. "Fighting in the council was not allowed." "Councillor Veltar," said another voice. It was Ambassador Zenth from Altea. He was old and wise. "Please remember where we are. This is a place for talking, not shouting." Veltar turned to look at Zenth. "You always take their side, old one. You think humans are special, but they are just babies, new to space. They need to learn their place." "What do you want?" Captain Lee asked. He was still calm, but Dr. Park could see his hands were tight. Veltar smiled. It was not a nice smile. His sharp teeth showed. "I want you to leave 3 of your colonies. The ones closest to Catherian space. You have 30 days. The room became very quiet again. Captain Lee looked at his team. Dr. Park was writing very fast now. Commander Kim was looking around the room, counting the other aliens. "And if we say no?" Captain Lee asked. "Then we will show you what Catherian power looks like," Veltar said. He walked closer to the human table. We will start with your food stations. The ones near Earth. Your people need food. Yes? What happens when that food stops coming? Dr. Park stopped writing. Her face became very pale. Those food stations fed millions of people on Earth. Velta was talking about making humans starve, Commander. Kim took a step forward. Are you threatening to attack civilians? I am promising it, Velta said. He was very close now. Captain Lee could smell his breath. It smelled like old meat. Your colonies will be empty in 30 days, or your people will be hungry in 31 days. Captain Lee stood up slowly. He was much shorter than Velta, but he did not look scared. Counselor, are you sure you want to do this? Very sure, little human. Are you sure you want to threaten our families, our children? Veltar laughed. It sounded like rocks falling. Your children will learn to respect Kitha, or they will learn to be hungry. The other aliens in the room were looking uncomfortable now. Even the ones who did not like humans thought this was too much. Threatening to starve children was not honorable, I see, Captain Lee said. He sat back down. Dr. Park, are you getting all of this? Every word, she said. Her tablet was still recording. Commander Kim, please send a message to Earth. Tell them about Counselor Velta's offer. Right away, Sir Kim said. He touched his communicator. Velta was still smiling. Good, send your message. Tell your leaders that Kitha is not afraid of humans. Tell them we have 300 warships. Tell them our weapons can destroy your tiny ships in seconds. I will tell them exactly what you said, Captain Lee replied. 30 days, Velta said again. He walked back to his place. Not 31. 30. Ambassador Zenth looked very sad. Counselor Velta, please think about what you are doing. Humans are members of this council. They have rights. They have the right to obey, Velta said. The crystal being called Prism made a sound like wind chimes. It was their way of speaking. The translator said, this one thinks the Catherian speaks without wisdom. Nobody asked you, Rockveld, said. Captain Lee stood up again. Counselor Velta, I need to be very clear about something. You said you would attack our food stations. These stations have no weapons, they have no soldiers, only farmers and their families. Yes. And you said you would do this to make us leave our colonies. Yes, so you are threatening to kill innocent people to get what you want. Velta's eyes got brighter. I am threatening to show you that Kitha is strong, that humans are weak. Dr. Park was watching Captain Lee carefully. She had worked with him for 5 years. She knew that look on his face. He was thinking very hard about something. I understand, Captain Lee said. Dr. Park, please make sure Earth gets the complete recording of this meeting. Already done, sir. Good. Captain Lee looked around the room at all the other aliens. I want everyone to hear what Counselor Velta said today. I want them to remember it. Remember this, Velta said. He pointed a clawed finger at Captain Lee. Humans who do not know their place get hurt. Your species is young. Ours is old. We know how to deal with troublemakers. I'm sure you do, Captain Lee said quietly. Velta turned to leave, but then he stopped. Oh, and human captain, do not think your friends will help you. He looked at the other aliens. Everyone here knows that Kitha is powerful. They will not fight us for you. Ambassador Zenth started to say something, but Velta cut him off. 30 days, he said one more time. Then he walked out of the room. His footsteps got quieter until they were gone. The room was quiet for a long moment. Then other aliens started talking in whispers. Captain Lee could hear some of them saying they were sorry, but none of them said they would help. Sir Commander, Kim said quietly. What do we do now? Captain Lee picked up his papers. Now we go home, Commander. We have a lot of work to do. Are we really going to give up the colonies? Dr. Park asked. Captain Lee looked at her. His eyes were very serious. Dr. Park, what did you think of Counselor Velta's speech today? She thought for a moment. He made several mistakes, such as he told us exactly what he plans to do. He told us how many ships he has. He told us he thinks we are weak. She paused. And he threatened our children. Yes, Captain Lee said. He did threaten our children, didn't he? Commander Kim was listening carefully. Sir, what are you thinking? Captain Lee smiled, but it was not a happy smile. I'm thinking that Counselor Veltar is about to learn something new about humans. What's that, sir? He's going to learn what happens when someone threatens our families. The big room on Earth was full of important people. Admiral Choi Yan-su sat at the head of the long table. She was the boss of all human spaceships. Her gray hair was pulled back tight. Her eyes were hard like steel. Show me the recording again, she said. Dr. Park Somin pressed a button. Veltar's voice filled the room. Your children will learn to respect Kitha, or they will learn to be hungry. General Bei Hyun-woo hit the table with his fist. He threatened our kids. Our farmers. People who never hurt anyone. I heard him, Admiral Choi said. Her voice was very quiet. When she spoke quietly, smart people listened carefully. Captain Lee, tell me everything. Captain Lee Daeho stood up. He had just come back from the council meeting. Veltar thinks we are weak. He thinks we will run away if he scares us. He has 300 warships. He wants our 3 outer colonies. What about the other aliens on the council? Asked Dr. Yoon Ji-hai. She was the head of a special department that studied alien minds. They felt bad for us, Dr. Park said. But none of them will help. They are all afraid of Kitha. Admiral Choi turned to Dr. Yoon. Tell me about these Kitharians. Dr. Yoon opened a big book. They are warriors. Everything is about being strong. They only respect power. If you show weakness, they will hurt you more. What do they think about honor? Very important to them. But their honor is different from ours. They think it is honorable to beat weak enemies. They think mercy is stupid. General Bay was walking around the room, so we fight them. We show them we are not weak. With what? Dr. Yoon asked. They have 300 big warships. We have 80 smaller ones. Size is not everything, said a new voice. Everyone looked at the door. Commander Kim Woojin walked in. Behind him was a woman in a black uniform. She was very quiet when she walked. This is Colonel Lim Subin, Kim said. She runs our special operations. Admiral Choi nodded at the woman. Colonel, what do you mean about size? Colonel Lim smiled. It was a dangerous smile. Admiral, how long have we been in space? 40 years. And in those 40 years, what have we been doing? Learning, trading, making friends. That is what everyone thinks we have been doing, Colonel Lim said. But we have also been preparing. She walked to the big screen on the wall. Pictures appeared. They showed Kitharian planets, Kitharian ships, Kitharian military bases. We have been watching. We have been learning. We know everything about them. Dr. Yoon looked surprised. How do you know all this? We have people everywhere, Colonel Lim said. People who look like traders, people who look like tourists, people who fix things and clean things, but they are really watching and listening. Admiral Choi was interested now. What did they learn? The Kitharians are strong, but they are not smart about some things. They use the same computer systems everywhere. They use the same radio frequencies. They think the same way about fighting. Captain Lee was listening carefully. You have a plan. We have many plans, Colonel Lim said. But first, we need to know what you want to do. Admiral, everyone looked at Admiral Choi. She was quiet for a long time, then she spoke. Veltar made a big mistake today. He told us he would hurt innocent people. He told us he would make children hungry. Her voice got harder. No one threatens our families, no one, so we fight. General Bay asked. We do more than fight, Admiral Choi said. We teach. We teach the galaxy what happens when someone threatens humans. Dr. Park looked worried. But Admiral, if we start a war, who said anything about war? Admiral Choi asked. Colonel Lim, tell me about Protocol 7. Colonel Lim's smile got bigger. Protocol 7 is not about fighting, Dr. Park. It is about showing strength without killing. It is about making enemies defeat themselves. I don't understand, Dr. Park said. Dr. Yongjihai opened another book. Dr. Park, what is the most important thing to a Kitharian warrior? Being strong. Being respected for being strong, Dr. Yoon said. If other people think you are weak, you are nothing to them. So we make them look weak, Captain Lee asked. We make them look like fools, Admiral Choi said. Colonel, how long do you need? Give me 2 weeks. Admiral, you have them. General Bay, I want you to call up the reserve fleet. Make it look like we are getting ready for a big fight. Yes, Admiral. Dr. Yoon, I want you to prepare psychological profiles of every important Kitharian leader. I want to know how they think. Already working on it. Admiral Choi turned to Captain Lee. Captain, you need to go back to the council. Tell them we accept Veltar as challenge. Captain Lee looked confused. He gave us an ultimatum. No, he challenged us. He said Kitharians are stronger than humans. Said we should prove it. Dr. Park was writing notes very fast. What kind of proof? A demonstration, Admiral Choi said. A fair test of military power. Winner gets the space he wants. Loser goes home and never comes back. You think he will agree? Kim asked. Dr. Yoon nodded. He has to agree. If he says no, other Kitharians will think he is afraid of humans. That would be very bad for him. And if he says yes, Dr. Park asked. Colonel Lim answered. If he says yes, we show the galaxy something very interesting. What? We show them that humans are much more dangerous than anyone thought. Admiral Choi stood up. Everyone knows what to do. Captain Lee, when you go back to the council, be very polite. Be very respectful. Make Veltar think we are scared. Are we scared? Dr. Park asked quietly. Admiral Choi looked at her. Dr. Park, what do you think happens to people who threaten to hurt human children? Dr. Park thought about it. Then she understood. They learn a very hard lesson. That's right, and Veltar is going to learn it in front of the whole galaxy. 2 days later, Captain Lee was back at the council. Veltar was there, looking very pleased with himself. The other aliens looked worried. Counselor Veltar, Captain Lee said, I have spoken to my leaders on Earth. Good. Are you ready to leave our space? No, sir. We have a different idea. Veltar's eyes got bright with anger. You dare to refuse? We accept your challenge, Captain Lee said. You said Kitharians are stronger than humans. You said we should prove it. I did not challenge you. I ordered you. Captain Lee smiled. With respect, Counselor, your exact words were, we will show you what Kitharian power looks like. That sounds like a challenge to me. The other aliens were listening very carefully now. In their cultures, challenges were serious things. You want us to prove which race is stronger? Veltar asked. If you are not afraid, Captain Lee said quietly. Veltar stood up fast. His chair fell down behind him. Afraid? Afraid? I am not afraid of anything, especially not humans. Then you, except yes, we will meet in the Nexus system in 1 week. Bring your best ships, I will bring mine. Then everyone will see who is stronger. Captain Lee bowed his head. Thank you, Counselor. This will be very educational. After the meeting, Ambassador Zenth came to Captain Lee. My friend, are you sure about this? Veltar has many ships. I know, Captain Lee said. But Ambassador, can I tell you a secret? Of course. Humans have been preparing for this day for a very long time. Preparing for what? Preparing to show the galaxy who we really are. The Nexus system was full of ships. More ships than anyone had ever seen in one place. Not just human and Catherian ships, but ships from all over the galaxy. Everyone wanted to watch the big fight. Admiral Choi Yansu stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Soul's Fury. Through the big window, she could see Veltara's fleet, 300 huge warships. Each one was twice as big as her biggest ship. Admiral, said Captain Sung Minho. He was in charge of the stealth ships. The enemy fleet is in position. How many ships do we have? Asked Lieutenant Nam Yunji from her computer station. 50, Admiral Choi said. 50 ships against 300. Those are bad numbers, said Chief Engineer Oh Tae-young. Only if you are trying to win a normal fight, Admiral Choi said. Dr. Park, are you ready? Dr. Park Somin was at a special station full of recording equipment. All systems are recording. Admiral, we will learn everything about their ships today. The communication system made a noise. Veltar's face appeared on the screen. He looked very happy. Human Admiral, he said. I see you brought 50 ships. I brought 300. Are you sure you want to do this? Very sure, Counselor, Admiral Choi said. Are you ready to begin? I have been ready for days. This will be over quickly. The screen went dark. Admiral Choi turned to her crew. Remember, everyone, we are not here to win. We are here to learn. Learn what? Lieutenant Nam asked. Everything, Dr. Park said. How their weapons work, how their shields work, how they talk to each other, how they think. Battle stations, Admiral Choi said. Alarms rang through the ship. Everyone moved to their positions. The human fleet spread out in a loose formation. The Catherian fleet stayed together in a tight group. They are moving, Captain Sung reported. All 300 ships are coming toward us. Let them come, Admiral Choi said. Chief O, are the special systems ready? All ready, Admiral. The learning computers are running. The adaptive shields are online. Good, remember, we want them to hit us. Every time they hit us, we learn something new. The first Catherian ships opened fire. Bright red beams shot across space. They hit the human ships hard. Explosions lit up the darkness. Shields holding, Chief O reported. But they are very strong weapons. Stronger than expected, Dr. Park said. She was watching her computers carefully. But look at this. Their beam weapons all use the same frequency. They all have the same power pattern. That means, Lieutenant Nam asked. That means once we learn how to stop one, we can stop them all, Admiral Choi said. More Catherian ships joined the fight. Soon, all 300 were shooting at the 50 human ships. The humans shot back, but their weapons seemed much weaker. On the Catherian flagship, Veltar was laughing. Look at them run. Human ships are like toys. But his weapons officer was watching his screens carefully. Sir, something strange is happening. What? Our weapons are hitting them, but they are not dying as fast as they should. Explain. The first few ships we hit were badly damaged, but now, our weapons are doing less damage to the same kind of ships. Veltar looked at his screen. The human ships were still fighting, but they looked badly hurt. They were almost finished. Keep shooting. Back on the Soul's Fury, things were very different from how they looked. Adaptive shields are working perfectly, Chief O reported. Every hit teaches us more about their weapons. The shields are getting stronger. Excellent, Admiral Choi said. Captain Sung, what about the stealth ships? Right where they need to be, Sung said with a smile. The Catherians cannot see us. We are mapping every ship in their fleet. Dr. Park was very excited. Admiral, this is incredible. I know how their weapons work. I know how their shields work. I even know how their computers work. How every time they shoot at us, their computers have to talk to their weapons. We are listening to those conversations. On the big screen, they could see news ships from all over the galaxy. Everyone was watching the fight. It looked like the humans were losing badly. Admiral, Lieutenant Nam said. The Catherians are broadcasting to the galaxy. Let me hear it. Veltar's voice filled the bridge. People of the galaxy, see how weak humans are. See how Catherian power crushes them. This is what happens to races that do not know their place. Admiral Choi smiled. He is very happy, isn't he? Should we be worried? Chief O asked. Our ships are taking real damage. Of course they are. That is the point. Dr. Park, how much more do you need? Dr. Park looked at her computers. Numbers and pictures were flowing across the screens very fast. 5 more minutes. Then I will know everything about their technology. You heard her. 5 more minutes. The battle continued. Human ships were exploding now. Not many, but enough to make it look real. The Catherian ships kept shooting. They were getting closer and closer. Time, Dr. Park said. All ships, Admiral Choi said into her communicator. Execute withdrawal plan, make it look desperate. The human ships started to run away, but they did not run very fast. The Catharians chased them, shooting all the way. We are running Veltar broadcast to the galaxy. See how the mighty humans run from Catharian power. But Captain Sung was watching something else on his screen. Admiral, look at this. On his screen was a map of the Catharian fleet, but it was not just a map. It showed the inside of every ship, where their weapons were, where their engines were. How did you get this? Admiral Choi asked. Every time they shot at us, we shot back, but we were not trying to hurt them, we were scanning them, little scanning beams that they could not see. Dr. Park was looking at her own screens. Admiral, I have something else. Show me their communication codes. Every message they send to each other, I can read all of it. Admiral Choi looked around at her crew. Everyone was smiling now. Admiral Chifo said, the adaptive shields are working so well, their weapons cannot hurt us anymore. If we wanted to, we could go back and fight them now, but we are not going to do that, Admiral Choi said. We are going to let them think they won. Why? Because the best lessons are the ones that surprise you. The human fleet jumped away to faster than light speed. The Catharians cheered. Veltar was on every news channel in the galaxy. Today, Kithar showed the galaxy the truth, he said. Humans are weak. They run when faced with real warriors. Now they know their place. In the news interviews, alien reporters asked what would happen next. Simple, Veltar said. The humans will give up their colonies. They will stay in their own space. And the galaxy will remember that Kithar is strong. But on the human flagship, things were very different. Dr. Park, Admiral Choi said, send a message to Earth. Tell them we have everything we need. What about the colonies? Captain Sung asked, do we really give them up? Admiral Choi looked out at the stars. Captain, what do you think happens to people who threaten human children? They learn a lesson. They learn the hardest lesson of their lives. And Veltar's lesson starts tomorrow. Dr. Park finished her message to Earth. Then she turned to Admiral Choi. Admiral, there is one more thing. What I know where every Catharian military base is. I know where their government buildings are. I know where their leaders live. Good, Admiral Choi said. We are going to need all of that very soon. The news reports that night all said the same thing. Humans had been defeated. Kithar was the strongest race in the galaxy. Veltar was a great leader. But on Earth, in the secret meeting rooms, people were getting ready for the next part of the plan. The part that would change everything. The Galactic Council chamber looked very different this time. The same big room, the same seats, but everything felt changed. News reporters from across the galaxy filled the viewing areas. Everyone wanted to see what would happen next. Captain Lee Daeho sat at the human table again. Dr. Park Somin was beside him, but now she looked very confident. Commander Kim Woojin stood behind them, relaxed and calm. That at the Catharian table sat a new leader. Korthan was older than Veltar, with gray scales and wise eyes. He looked tired but determined. In a special cage at the side of the room sat Veltar. He was being held for trial by his own people. His yellow eyes were full of anger, but nobody paid attention to him anymore. Ambassador Zenth called the meeting to order. We are here today to discuss the recent events between the Catharian Empire and humanity. Where do we begin? Asked Prism. The crystal being Captain Lee stood up. If I may, I would like to read a statement from Earth. Please proceed, Zenth said. Captain Lee picked up a piece of paper. The people of Earth want the galaxy to know what happened here. A council member threatened to attack our civilian population. He threatened to make our children go hungry. This was wrong. He looked around the room. But we also want the galaxy to know what we did not do. We did not destroy Catharian cities. We did not hurt Catharian families. We only stopped their military from being able to hurt us. Korthon stood up. Captain Lee, on behalf of the Catharian people, I want to say, we are sorry. What Veltar did was wrong. It was against our honor. It was against everything we believe. Thank you, Captain Lee said. But I have more to say. The room became very quiet. The human government has 3 demands. Captain Lee continued. First, we want the council to make a new law. No member can threaten to attack civilians, ever. If they do, they will be removed from the council. Many aliens nodded their heads. This seemed fair. Second, we want a new committee to watch over council members. If someone breaks the rules, this committee will stop them. We want humans to be part of this committee. Ambassador Zenth looked thoughtful. That seems reasonable. What is your third demand? Captain Lee smiled. We want to trade with everyone. Fair trade, equal trade. We want to share our technology and learn from yours. The aliens looked surprised. After showing such power, humans only wanted to trade. Court spoke again. Captain Lee, you could demand much more. You could take our territory. You could make us pay tribute. Why do you only ask for these simple things? Because we are not conquerors, Captain Lee said. We are explorers. We came to space to learn and to make friends, not to rule over others. But you have great power, said a bird-like alien from the feathered worlds. You defeated the military without fighting a real battle. Dr. Park stood up now. May I explain something to the council, please? Zenth said. What we did to the Catherian military systems was not magic. It was not super technology. It was just careful planning and patience. She activated a hologram projector. Pictures appeared in the air above the table. For 3 years, human traders and workers visited Catherian worlds. They were really spies, but they were also doing real jobs, fixing computers, installing new systems, cleaning buildings. The pictures showed humans working alongside Catherian. They looked like normal workers. Every time they worked, they left behind small programs in the computer systems. These programs were sleeping. They did nothing for years, until we activated them all at once. An alien from the Crystalline Federation made a sound of understanding. You prepared for this day long before Veltar made his threats. Yes, Dr. Park said. We prepare for many possible days. We hope they never come, but we prepare anyway. Corthan looked troubled. You have been spying on us for years. We have been watching everyone for years, Captain Lee said honestly. Not just Catherian. Everyone. The room erupted in worried voices. Aliens were talking to each other in many different languages. Silence. Ambassador Zenth called out. Captain Lee, are you saying humans have spies in all our worlds? Yes, and you can do to us what you did to Kith. Captain Lee was quiet. For a moment, then he nodded. Yes. The room became very quiet again. The aliens were all looking at the humans with new eyes. Fear, respect, and curiosity mixed together. But, Captain Lee continued, we do not want to do that. We only act when someone threatens our families. Prism made their wind chime sound. The translator said, this one asks, what if we demand you remove your spies? You can demand it, Dr. Park said. But think about this. Our spies are also fixing your computers, building your buildings, teaching your children. They are part of your communities now. Corthon was thinking hard. You were saying that humans are everywhere, but you are also helping everywhere. That is right, Captain Lee said. We could have conquered the galaxy years ago if we wanted to. But we do not want to conquer, we want to belong. A small alien from the Tiny Worlds Collective spoke in a squeaky voice. You want to be our friends, but you also want us to know you could hurt us if we make you angry. Captain Lee smiled. That is a very smart way to put it. Yes. Ambassador Zenth was looking at some papers on his desk. I have been reading reports from many worlds. Humans have been living on all of them for years. Working, trading, learning. No one thought they were dangerous. We are not dangerous to friends, Commander Kim said. It was the first time he had spoken. We are only dangerous to people who threaten our children. From his cage, Veltar suddenly shouted, you are all fools. Humans are lying. They are conquerors. They will rule you all. Corthan turned to look at his former leader.